Hi everyone, welcome back to the Crooked Little House. Today is Sunday, September 28th, and this is episode 2. So if you were here for episode 1, welcome back. And if this is the first time that you visited me, thanks for coming to visit me. Last time we had a good visit, I think, and so thank you. Last weekend I had to work, so I missed catching up on all my podcasts. I work in a remote location, so I am away during the week, and I catch up on my podcasts on Friday morning. I sit in my bed and I drink my coffee and I knit on my sock, my podcast sock, and catch up on my weekly podcasts. So this weekend it was just a weekend of relaxing and resting because it was very intense for 2 weeks. So I don't have a whole lot of knitting to show you. I do have actually a finished object. But it was really intense at work. So at night I didn't get a lot of knitting done. I did get some book listening done. So anyway. This week on the Crooked Little House, we're working on hanging some siding on our tiny little addition. And that is a little bit of a challenge because our little house is really crooked. So when you line up the top of the siding, then the side of the siding doesn't line up very well. So we have to be a little bit creative sometimes. So anyway, we're busy trying to get all of our outside projects done before winter, and we have some inside projects that we want to get done. And I'll tell you about those as we get into them. So I do have a mostly finished object. I have a hat. I do not knit myself very many hats because I look terrible in hats, but I live in northern BC, so I actually need a hat. This is the Capucine hat, and I like it because I thought I'd try this style because it's sort of like a hood, so it's not clutching onto my head, like onto my head, and it's got the split back. It was really a fun pattern. I actually forget the name of the person, but it's on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. So here is, oh, that ball of yarn is really huge, sorry. So here is, and let's just see if I can pronounce her name. It's a really popular pattern, like 5,000 people have made it. Adela Ilachamanova. I'm sorry that I butchered your name, Adela. It's a really nice pattern. It's recently been updated, like in January 2013, and it comes in one size, but it's written for bulky and super bulky. So it's got 2 stitch counts. So I think you can. It's like really simple, so you can make it whatever size you want just by playing around with the gauge. So I really liked it. I'll probably make some more. You can see I have to put some tassels here, and it has a tassel on the back. But this is how much yarn I had left over, like really small amount. And this is made out, I knit it out of Knit Picks Chroma in the paperback colorway. It's a fingering weight yarn. It's a single. And it is 70% wool, 30% nylon. It's not superwash, so it's not meant to be a sock yarn. So like it's really loose, so you wouldn't want to make socks out of this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin some natural colored yarn to go with it. And I haven't decided if I'm going to make a pom-pom or a tassel. Some people have made pom-poms and they look really cute. And because it's a fingering weight, obviously it's not heavy enough for this pattern. So what I did is I chain plied it as I was knitting it, which is really easy to do. You can Google it, but what you do is you just make a loop and pull the yarn through like this, so you can, as you're knitting it, so you can see that you're always knitting with 3 plies of yarn. So you're pulling it through, and you can make these loops as long as you want, which is really good for self-striping or a long graduated color, because it keeps your color. And where it loops, you've got just this little join here, but that doesn't matter, just keep knitting. And then you get like a 3 ply. So, but it's pretty neat technique, and I've used it a couple of times. And this hat is really hot on my head because I'm sitting in the sun. I'm going to take it off right now. Sorry, now I have sweaty hat head. I apologize for that. But that just took about 1 night to knit, and I'm going to knit a couple more, and it's really warm. So it was actually a good use because I really didn't know what to do with this yarn. I had just 1 ball of it. So I actually saw somebody else had knit one of these hats, and then I thought, oh, what a great idea, I'm going to knit that with my yarn. So I was pretty happy with that. So that is my finished object. I am still working on my groovy socks. This is my podcast sock, so because I didn't get to watch a lot of podcasts, I didn't get to work on it a lot. I did knit my extra yarn in for my afterthought heel here. So this is a long, oh, it's going to be a long sock, and it's kind of skinny, so it might not be for me because it's really snug. But I wanted the heel to land in these big sort of yellowy orange sections. So it might be a slouchy sock, maybe. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. But it's going pretty quick now. And it's Groovy Socks by Carolyn Higwer. The pattern's really, really easy. It's just got one row of the pattern and 1 row of plain knitting, and I like it because it breaks up the striping. It gives it kind of a ridgy effect, which is nice when you're working with stripy yarn. And hopefully I will maybe have this done next time. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of want to get these other things done. So I'm knitting this out of Lana Grossa and Milan wheat in the dessert colorway on cubics, double pointeds, which I just like for this. It's just what I wanted to knit this one out of. I also use 9-inch circular needles for socks, but this is just what I had. I like wood needles for double pointed needles. The metal hurts my fingers just the way I hold the needles. And these are the cubics, which I got at Olds Fiber Week, not this year but last year, just because I wanted to try them, and I like them. And these are 2.5 millimeter, which I'm not sure what that works out in. All the numbers are worn off. I'll put it in the show notes. I like them. I like the wood needles, and they're strong, so I haven't broken them yet. So these are turning out to be pretty nice, so I like those so far. I did a little bit of knitting on my design. I've gone past the waist decreases from the bust down to the waist. So I'm on a kind of a straight stitching bit right now. And this is a top down set in sleeve. It's a Barbara Walker method. Starts with a provisional cast on for the shoulders, and I'm enjoying it. It was too intense at work to work on this at work, so I did a little bit of this this weekend, but I have maybe knit 3 inches this week. So I'm alternating 2 balls of yarn. I just about finished this one, so I'm going to add in another one. I'm using Malabrigo Rastita in the, look at my old notes, Rayon Vert colorway, number 46. I'm using US number 4s, and I'm using my highs, which I love, which are my go-to needles. Love these needles. So, and the one I have been knitting on a lot is my Mama Vertebrae. So I think the last time I showed you I had about this much done. This much. This is pretty mindless knitting for me. There's just a couple rows of pattern repeat. It's on US 6s, 4mm. These are, I think they're Knit Pro. And I'm finished the lace, and I'm just going to do, I made it longer because I'm just going to do a couple rows of garter stitch on the bottom. And then I'm going to make 3/4 length sleeves, I think just here. And I haven't decided yet about the round, the neckline in the front. So I'm knitting it out of Drops Superfine Merino Superwash, which is really nice and bouncy. It's going to be really comfortable. And this stitch pattern, I just got it out of a stitch dictionary. I plopped it in there. Just did the math, plopped it in there, figured out how many extra ones are on each side. And I did cast on extra stitches. I slowed down the decrease for the raglan because the sleeves were big enough for me about up here, and added extra stitches underneath the arm, which I'll have to cast on when I go to add the sleeves in. So I'll put it in my project notes. I really like this. It's really nice and cozy. So I think it'll be probably my around the house throw it on, but it'll be nice over tank tops and things. And that's Mama Vertebrae by Kelly Brooker, and I'm doing this as a knit along with the Fat Squirrel Knits in her group, and I think it ends on October 31st. It's for all the vertebrae, so all the kitty, baby, newborn, adult vertebrae. So I'm actually thinking of doing a vertebrae for my granddaughter as well, because I have some really nice 6-ply sock yarn and big cushy balls. So that is all my works in progress. See, show notes. Yeah, so books. I finished listening to Invisible Murder, which was a Danish mystery book translated into English. It was really good. It's by Leen Kaberbol and Agnet Fries. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of dark, as all the Scandinavian mysteries are kind of dark, which is why I like them. But after you listen to maybe 4 or 5 of them in a row, you have to listen to or read something a bit fluffy. So right now I'm listening to an Alan Bradley from the Flavia de Luce series, The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. This is number 2 in the series. And I did actually try to listen to another one instead, and it was a Jeffrey Deaver called The October List. And sometimes you can read a book and sometimes you can listen to a book. And I actually found that the Alan Bradley series, I tried to read it and I just couldn't get into it. And then I downloaded the first one, and it was much better being read to me. And then this Jeffrey Deaver one, because I really, really enjoyed Jeffrey Deaver's writing. I just devour his books. I don't know what it was. If it was I just wasn't ready for that kind of book, or if it was the person who was reading it, or I got through the first chapter and I just decided I had to read that book. It was written in a strange way, like they had the last chapter first and they were going backwards through the chapters. And I checked and it wasn't recorded wrong. That's how it was supposed to be. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put this on my reading list, and I deleted it from my audio list. But I love Jeffrey Deaver books, so I don't know if the voice was wrong, the I just wasn't ready for that kind of book. But anyway, so now I'm just about finished. I think I'm on like the last 10 minutes of this Alan Bradley one, and I've downloaded the next one. But I don't know if that's the next one I'm going to listen to, so I'll keep you posted on that. So as far as reading books go, I finished reading The Purity of Vengeance by U.C. Adler-Olsen, which is the 4th book in the Department Q series, which is also a Danish mystery series, which I love that series, and I see that the next one is going to be out this year, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And then I read the latest one in the Louise Penny series. So if you don't know, Louise Penny is a Canadian author, and this series is a bunch of mysteries that are set in Quebec. Most of them are set in Three Pines, which is a made-up village. Everyone wants to live there because it just sounds fabulous. Except everyone dies there. You don't want to go there. But anyway. And the main character is Armand Gamache. He's a police inspector. And her writing is brilliant. And her characters are just so well thought out. Like, you actually know the characters. One of her first book is actually been made into a TV show, and it's actually kind of funny because they're in Quebec, so they're French Canadian, so you expect them to have French Canadian voices, but the show, they have British accents, so it's sort of off-putting. But and the characters don't seem like you picture them in your head, which happens to me a lot. But read the books, start from the beginning, because there's definitely a progression. Louise Penny and the latest book, they're not all happy endings, but it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. So the one I read, the latest one, is called The Long Way Home. So by Louise Penny. Then, I'm sorry, you have to listen to all the books I read. I belong to a book club, and my book club pick was this month, and I've picked this one. It's called Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. It's not the kind of book I normally pick, but it was light, which is what I needed, and I read it in like 2 days. But I read really fast, so don't go by that. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was kind of like a little romance, and it was clever and whimsical. It was good. So I picked it because it's about bookstores, and I love books, and it had a clever premise, and it had a secret club, and it was a little bit of a mystery. So it had everything in it that I liked. And so it was by Robin Sloan. And if you're looking for something clever, then kind of not heavy, sort of a quick book to read, this is a good book. Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. I enjoyed it. And it's a book club pick, and we'll be talking about that in about a week at my book club. And the one I'm reading right now, my girlfriend, my girlfriend and I, we read a lot of the same kind of books, and she's Swedish. She went to Sweden this summer, and she brought me some Swedish treats, and I'll be showing one of them to you in a couple weeks, but she brought me this book. It's called The Little Old Lady Who Broke All the Rules. This is the one I'm reading now. I just started it last night. And it's about some old people who, live in a retirement home, and they are mistreated, so they decide to, burgle a hotel so they can get thrown into jail because prisoners are treated better. And anyways, I've just started it, so I actually don't know what happens. This is just, and it's written by Katharina Engelman Sundberg. So I've just started it, and this is going to be my work reading this week. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one. So that's this week's book. And I'd really love to hear about books that you're reading, and if you have any suggestions, please write them down in the group, start a thread or add them to the thread for the episode. The group is called My Crooked Little House, and it's on Ravelry, and I would just love it if you join the group or even just stop by as a guest and just made a little note. So, very last thing I have to tell you about is I got some yarn. I don't need any yarn, but I got some. Just before I went to work, I was feeling kind of sorry for myself because I had to go to work for 2 weeks, and I went online and I bought some Rowan phased tweed. It smells like a sheep. So when you get yarn, do you like open the bag and then sniff it? Because that's the first thing that I do. I don't know why I do that, but I do. So, and it does. It smells really sheepy. My husband, I got him to sniff it and he was repulsed by it, but I love it. Anyway, this is called Rowan phased tweed. It is 72% wool, 22% alpaca, and 6% polyamide, which is nylon. And I suspect that the polyamide, so what it is, it's like a wool core, almost like a robing, and then it's got fuzziness, which is probably the alpaca. I don't know if you can see the fuzziness. Can you see that? And then it's got like this fine net that goes around it. And it's the same color as the fuzziness. Like it might be black. Anyway, I got 12 balls because there's only 76 yards, 70 meters in one ball. So I got 12 balls because I'd like to make a sweater out of it. And I got the oak colorway. So I bought this from Needlework Emporium, which is Needle Emporium, Needle Emporium, which is needleemporium.com. It's in Canada. So I did not have to spend a small fortune on shipping. Oh, all the fuzzies are in my nose. And I can hardly wait to cast this on, but I have these, and I still have the other Malabrigo to knit up first, and then it's going to be this one. So yummy. I may have ordered some more yarn also last week from work. Anyway, thank you very much for visiting me this week, and I hope that you come back. I will be recording next week. I hope you come back and visit me next week. So for today, have a really good week, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.